Hi, Billy the Artist here, and we're going to do some more drawing in a second, but I just want to show you quickly, this is what I do with my big art, and there'll be a video of this. This is just a painting that I'm working on of a man called Michael Dunlop, who won at the Isle of Man TT races this year. This is just very loosely taped in. I've got a lot of detail to go on that, and you can see that in future videos. And I'll give other updates here, but we've already done Jessie, sorry, that's Woody. It's been a long day, I'll probably talk about it in the drawing. And Jessie from Toy Story, and we are going to do today, we are going to draw from infinity to infinity and beyond. It's been a long time. Hopefully I can still draw. Things might be quite interesting. Hopefully it will look like Buzz Lightyear today. Anyway, here we go, and we're just going to draw using the shapes. So we're just going to block him in really quickly, so as we can get a nice few shapes, and then we'll just detail him up afterwards. So I'm just drawing ellipses. That's his helmet and his head going in, just so as you can get the shapes using ellipses. And again, just a kind of stick man. So there's his line for his body, there's his hips, there's his left leg, and going down to his foot, and there's his right leg going down to his foot, and then a big bit on the bottom, and his shoulder. So we got a little ping there, his shoulders is kind of, it's the full comic kind of run. There's his stick hand, ping, and here we go. Left arm coming down, there's his elbow kind of underneath his jaw, and there's his wrist, and there's his hand. So you can see I've got a stick man, as I've done with Woody and Jessie, and I can build up on that using rectangles and circles. And this is the thing with Buzzy's spacesuit, it's all a number of circles, cylinders, squares, rectangles, all kinds of things. So he's got a nice ball joint there for his elbow, and there's his left arm and the shape for his hand, and the front of his spacesuit comes down there, and we're just knocking this in very quickly. His jetpack, the back of his jetpack where his wings pling out from, ball joint of his left shoulder, and then you come down and you've got underneath his leg and his left leg, ball joint where the knee is, bit of a shape there, bit of an ellipse, kind of like an eye shape where the top of his kind of shin guard comes off. Unfortunately, he's got flares on really. He's a bit of a hippie from the 70s as Buzz Lightyear, for all his technological advancements and his death ray laser and all that kind of stuff. The guy wears flares, so I think he's a hippie in disguise really. He just wears all the techno gear just to be spaceman cool. There's his foot, and right, so now we need his waistband coming down, kind of like spaceman metallic swimming shorts, swimming trunks, aren't they? And then his right leg comes, got a little ping there, front of his leg. Like I say, here you can really see it. That is a big pair of flares, that is. There's his turn-ups. He's even got turn-ups on. It's funny, when you actually look and you're drawing, you see things differently rather than just seeing a toy. I saw on the side of, I'm in England, in the United Kingdom. We could get all political and talk about the Scottish roll of independence, so we might not be a United Kingdom in 2015. Somebody might have disappeared, but we shall wait and see. But we won't kind of go there. It'd be nice if they stayed, because the flag's rather cool. But again, that's politics. That's an interesting thing that goes on every day and affects everybody. and yet people tend not to talk about it or think much about it, which is rather strange, but it affects everybody. But enough of that, we're drawing today to infinity and beyond. So there's the bottom of his foot, and there we have his left hand. Extend that a little bit, get the shape in. So I'm doing this very, very quickly and very loosely, just so we can get the shapes in, and then we're going to detail it up and get a nice outline down, which you can then colour in merrily, either colour in with your pencil, or you can colour in with crayons or felt tips. But as I was saying, I saw on the side of a home food delivery van from one of our local supermarkets. I'm not paid to do this advertising, it was Asda. And for you people in the US of A, that's Walmart to you guys. And Asda, I'm just whacking in, have their home delivery stuff, so you can go online and you can do click and collect, you can order your stuff and then go to a store and pick it up, or you can have it delivered. And on the side of their home delivery van, they have lots of pictures of electrical goods, fruit and veg, all that kind of thing. But then they had toys, and it said toys on the side. And you kind of think, well, there's lots of new things coming out, there's been lots of new things coming out, but on the side of it, under toys, was Buzz Lightyear. I think, what an association. Even to this day, Buzz still has a lot of credibility because he is such a cool toy. And didn't that cause problems in #1 in the first Toy Story film? So there we have, very quickly, the shapes down, which is just nice and easy. You can see there's the stickman drawing underneath. You can rub that out if you want to. I'll get my eraser, my little putty rubber, and I can knock that out. Just put that back in. I can knock out the one in his legs, in his flares, and so straight away you've got quite a nice simple Buzz Lightyear shape. So now we're just going to work on him and detail him up a little bit. So if we go onto his head now, and you just look, it's funny, isn't it? You can look at spacemen and they were made to look really cool, but the guy's got a purple sock on his head. It's just, when you look at it, you see like the spacemen coming out in the documentaries and news reports from years ago. Let's just get some shapes in. They come out and they look really cool, they've got all the gubbins on, but at the end of the day they're walking along in a big suit. They've got really some kind of piece of underwear on top of their heads. But these guys are like uber cool. So here we have a shape coming down. And everyone wanted to be a spaceman. The space race through the late 60s and into the 1970s to get a man on the moon. That almost was to infinity and beyond for a lot of people. And now, because of all of that, satellites up in space, we get to see things from the other side of the world. It's a rather interesting film about the space race called The Dish, how a satellite station in Australia was pivotal to the moon landings, because back then there was no internet as we know it today. Computers were nowhere near as powerful as our smartphones today, let alone the computers that we use to watch things on the internet. So there we have, like I say, a nice little cylinder going over the top, and we've got Buzzy's massive chin. So let's concentrate on getting his face down. But yeah, The Dish is just a wonderful, wonderful film. Very funny, and the American national anthem in it. It's very good. You'd enjoy that. So I do recommend it on DVD or Blu-ray or Netflix or whatever streaming service you may have. Then if it's on there, you'd enjoy watching it. It's a very gentle film, but very, very simple, very funny. Sam Neill's the main character in it. So anyway, there's a basic shape of Buzz's head, and if we kind of quickly knock in his massive eyebrows, they are humongous, and he has got rather starey ping pong ball eyes. He's a bit of a crazed individual, isn't he, Buzz? That's being a spaceman, being trapped inside a bit of a goldfish bowl going on here. Kind of make anyone go nuts, wouldn't it? So anyway, there's one of his eyes, and his nose is really just a triangle. And you can imagine here, you know, just imagine a couple of little oranges, a triangle, and a slice of fruit, you know, a slice of apple. That is pretty much Buzz's face. His big cheek, where his smile goes, his huge square jaw, and then you need his other cheek accentuated because he's the mega hero, and that comes up there, just nice circle for his eye. That one is looking up, and then he's got a little crease for his eye where his eyebrows meet. Most people have two eyebrows. Buzz Lightyear seems to have one. Goes from there right the way over to there. So if you think of that eyebrow as a kind of upside down Nike tick, or Nike, tomato, tomato, and there you got that huge caterpillar on top of his head, which is rather lovely. And then you need his pupil in, leave a little bit of white. If you do fill in a little bit too much, a rubber won't get it out, but a little dab of white paint for the pupil will make it stand out very, very easily. So here we have just the outline of his eye. His right eye, his eyebrow kind of comes down over the top of it and goes right off the side of his head, and his forehead goes up. That's looking pretty good. He's a bit of a crazed space ranger, isn't he? So let's make his pupil a little bit bigger, put a darker outline around the outside to make that pupil about the same size. I have left a much better highlight on that eye now. That kind of shows up. But again, just nice simple shape. So let's get his nose in. Again, like I say, it's just a nice simple triangle on the side, and then bring his eye down. I'll shade this in a bit. I'll probably do a time lapse for the shading so we don't overrun, because it will be huge, but you can watch the Woody video, and I actually put the shading section up for the Woody video separately All links will be at the end, and if you just go to the how to list on YouTube, The Art of Billy, you'll actually see, you can just scroll through and go to the Woody video and put that up, and you can just look at the shading. I'll talk you through all the different shading parts. But watching a time lapse, you just get to see something come together quite quickly. Which is absolutely wonderful when you're drawing, because it gives you a load of help. Just watching somebody doing something. And even I enjoy going to the internet and watching other people drawing and painting. So there, quite quickly we have Buzzy's head in. Again, just very simple shapes, just a nice big shape. And I'm just doing this very quickly so that you can see how easy it is to put a drawing together. And this is something you have. There's his strange little goatee on the front of his head. Now let's get the rest of the outline down. So coming down from his cheek, we have the edge of his spacesuit. Then you've got his goldfish bowl head, which is a nice curve, and then the point on there, and it goes past his ear, and just follow. Use the curve of your wrist. I mean, I'm left-handed, so this one works for me quite nicely. And then the back part that the front goes over goes inside and comes down on the top of his head. But practicing drawing ellipses, just these curvy lines. Just get a piece of paper and just draw ellipses. I kind of showed a little bit of that in the Jessie video, but that's also in how to draw anything part 1, the basics, using the shapes. All of these shapes that I'm using now are just standard parts of techniques for drawing and painting. So this line goes up and comes around the back nice and quickly, and the same for some of the other inside lines. Then the back, there's the top of his shoulder, there's another one that goes across there, and then we have his jetpack, just a nice simple triangle, and then a loop over the top, and that comes down, little ping on there, top of the jetpack, top of the green bit that comes down. Then we need to just knock in the shapes here, coming out of his chin and down the front. If you just watch and follow the lines, there's a shape, and then you got the grey part coming down, and then off his chin. You've got the interior collar. That line comes down, and then you've got the purple collar inside. All of a sudden you're getting Buzz appearing. And these are just, again, just cylinder shapes. His right arm, his kind of wrist guard, where he's got his death ray laser. And we're just detailing the line up as it comes down, little pivot point. And then you got the green top, and that comes around the side, and then the green collar just goes there. And you can colour all of these in and shade it in rather quickly. So here we have his hand, just his thumb is a little shape that folds back round, and he's got two little fingers. Front of his glove, he's got a purple line that goes across. There's his other finger, little green cover on the top. So now if we just zoom out a little bit, we can put the rest in coming down here. Let's just put a nicer detail line down the side of his face, make his cheeks stand out and his nice big jaw. And that's Buzz looking pretty bonkersly Buzz there. He's got a circle for the button. There's a rectangle where it says Lightyear, because he needs his name on. Lightyear. Always spell it out while you do it and think about it. I once did a drawing and I missed one letter out, and it took somebody else who noticed on a photo as I was working on it, as I posted a photo on Facebook, and they were very, very helpful. Just put little dots there for the front of that, and they really helped me. And it's like, you've spelt that word wrong. So I was able to correct it and get it sorted. So that was very, very helpful indeed. So now, very quickly, let's get the rest of these shapes in, and then we can see how we look. So here, just a diagonal line, nice kind of teardrop. And there's the purple line going around his hand and the covers. Just some kind of sausages for fingers. When you've got that kind of space, if you've got four, just put a little mark in between, halve it, and then halve it again, and then you can put the fingers in nice and easily. And the hand comes down to his wrist. And he's got that nice green shape. You know, you can put a square in nice and gently if you want to, and then round the corners off, just sharpen my pencil. Yeah, nice trusty pencil sharpener. And there's his thumb that goes around the back. And then you need where his Space Ranger is. There's another shape, so you've got a square with the shorter end and parallelogram it is really, where it tapers in, and you can push that round, curve at the back, draw the line up. And it's great sometimes when you're actually drawing. Space Ranger is, you think there's a triangle at the top, there's a square, a bit like a house, do a little inverted V, and then put your darker outline around the outside, and that's how you can create what looks like a complex shape. There's this little rocket. Just break it down into smaller component parts, and it looks really, really good and really simple. There's the big ball joint, pivot point on his arm. Again, remember, that's a kind of circle. It's not a perfect circle. And don't try to get everything perfect, just be free with your drawing, and at the end you'll look at it and you'll think, oh yeah, that looks like Buzz Lightyear, and enjoy making the shapes. Here's on his jetpack, the slit going right the way down. So let's get you need the purple line. inside his jetpack where his wings playing out from. Somebody's walking past my studio down there, if you hear that. Sometimes you'll hear birds as well tweeting in the background of my videos. I kind of live on the edge of a city, just nearly nicely rural, which is lovely. So inside, that's where his wings playing out. There's the corner. A bit darker shadow going down there. There's the green bit at the bottom. And then you've got 5 stripes. So again, put a little mark where the halfway is. And the red chevron then can go to the top. It just helps you to split it up a little bit. There's the pivot. Inside his arm there's a football shape. That's a soccer ball for anyone in the USA. Just had the World Cup recently. England didn't do very well. Congratulations to Germany. In fact, I think the USA got further than England. So there's the top half of Buzz done quite quickly. Let's just move down and let's get his legs in quickly. So here is Buzzy's waistband. That's a bit of a kind of M going on, and then you've got another triangle there where it sticks out. This is all the green bit. And the green waistband going around. And then we can get to do his legs. Again, just think of the shapes. When you put the shapes down earlier, it really helps in guiding lines. And then you've got the kind of mould join line down the front of his leg. There's the circle for the soccer ball with the hinge point. The mould line inside. Bit of a kind of leafy shape. Or an eye shape. Going round. Mould line. The back of his flares, I mean his space boots. And then you've got a number of ellipses on his feet, which is just so simple to do. So if you think that these are complex, then instead of thinking about the complexity of the shapes, just sit down. If you watch the part 1, how to draw the shapes, how to draw anything using shapes, and then just do practice, just draw, you know, scrap piece of paper, just draw ellipses and boxes and squares and just practice doing that. You'll get better and better and faster and faster. There's the purple bit going round at the back and the teeth. Now we've got his front leg and the flares coming down. There's the ellipse inside. Who'd have thought Buzz Lightyear was a hippie wearing flares? And if you really want to, you can draw flowers on. And you can colour him in any colours you want. I remember going out to places and you'll see it on community boards or in restaurants and things like that. That line's a bit big. But in restaurants and they have like colouring sheets, little children don't want to do things that are totally representational, which is absolutely fine and wonderful, because they're just enjoying colouring in. So here's the toe caps on the front of Buzzy's boot, top of his shoe going into the hinge point, line inside for his ankle, and then underneath you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a point at the beginning. So if we just look, and we've got a mark there for 1, then we know we've got another 3, then yeah, that looks okay. And then you can draw the lines across, and there's his tread pattern under his foot. And then we've got the very special part that makes the toys owned. Where Andy draws on with a marker pen his name. Andy. There's the back of his right knee, hinge point, and that is how simple it is to get an outline down of Buzz Lightyear. Bit of shadow because he's running, and then I'll put my name on now. I'll put the pencil down, and I think I'll leave that as it is for now, and I'll do the shading in a separate video because this is half-hour long and it's quite a long video. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you go away and have a go at drawing your own Buzz Lightyear. But thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you. Ta-da.